Welcome back to Henry's Garage. In this episode of the Daily Drivers, we're actually working on the Ford and we're changing the starter motor out because it's been playing up recently, and one day it played up too much for me. Easy job for anyone who wants to do it. All right, talk soon. Bye. I have a problem. It started up and stalled just as I got the front wheels on here. So I went and pushed it back on and then couldn't get around to stop it. It rolled all the way back there before I could stop it. And now I can't start it and move it. And there's meant to be a towing eye here. It says it's behind a cover, but I can't see it for the life of me, and I can't work out how this comes off at the moment. So I'm a bit stuck. So got it going again. Moved it onto the drive because I know it's on a hill, but with chocks behind it, I can lift up the front and do some work. It's clearly the starter motor that's gone. So that's what we're going to look at replacing. Okay, so I'm back from my holiday now. My new starter motor has turned up, and this morning, or today, I'm going to put this starter motor in the Ford Focus. It should be a fairly simple job. It should be a case of unbolting 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and then bolting this in, and a few some cables, and then bolting this in place. The difficulty is access, and I'll show you that now. So there, we got it up. You can see it's chopped at both sides. Supported at both sides. That's nice and steady. So we'll get under that now. So here I am underneath the car, and this is the starter motor with the solenoid in there. So the solenoid somewhere around here. This seems to be clipped onto it. And then we got the oil filter in the way. So the way to do this, I think, might be to take the oil filter off to give myself better access to everything else. I suspect that these cables are one cable connecting it all to the solenoid, but I need to get a better look. Right, I'm underneath the car. Now the 3 bolts to take out are quite simple to see. There's this one back here, this one here, and this one here. So those shouldn't be a problem. And then you can see they come through into the casing for the starter motor. Oh, see, come through here into the starter motor. So that's not a problem. What I can't see is how to get the electrics off. I've done this before even, I still can't remember how I did it. But I think we've got a nut here, so we're going to try undoing that and see if that makes this come off as a unit. I've got to say I'd disconnected the battery on the negative. I really can't see how to get at this from underneath, at least not the wiring, not safely. So we're going to take this off to the air cleaner and see if that gives us just a bit more space to work with. Well, that does no good whatsoever. It doesn't help me get in there. I'd have to take all of this out for that to help. So we'll put this on and concentrate from underneath. Right, I've decided I'm going to take the fuel filter off to give myself better access. I can't see any way of getting in there any other way. Okay, so that's improved access no end. I think that this must clip on somehow, but I can't see it. There is clearly some sort of clip here, but it feels like it's going to break and I don't want to break it. So I'm going to access those bolts now, hopefully, and get it off. Right, I don't know how in focus or if this is seeable, viewable, but I managed to get the two nuts off and I think they should just slide off now. There we go. So that's come off the starter motor of the solenoid. So I just need to get the bolts out of the starter motor now, over here, and we should be all done. So the 3 bolts are all out, they just slid in, and the starter motor here is now loose and should come all the way out. Just a nice snug fit in here. So we'll have to, I think I'll need 2 hands. Okay, it's out of there. I had to unclip this to make space. Where does that go? From somewhere around here. Where did it go? Where does this go? Oh, there. So I had to unclip this from here. And then to get it out, I had to bring it out here between the dipstick and the fuel filters. There was no way it was going to come out any other way, and I'm a bit concerned about this, to be honest, on the way back here. And I want to see if I can pop this bit of wiring out of the way, because it's just clipped in there at the moment. As the manuals like to say, installation is the reverse of or assembly, the reverse of disassembly, whatever. Installation, the reverse of removal. So I put these in just so that they catch the threads, so that I've still got movement on here. I've I've just slipped these over the where they get connected up, and now I'm going to bolt them in. I'll do the wiring first, and then I'll come back and torque up the actual bolts. So the torque setting on these bolts for the starter motor is 35 Newton meters. So I did 10 tight first, and then I went up to 30 and then 35. I've reconnected this cable. I'm about to stick the oil filter back on. Just there. So I'll tighten that up. I'll add some oil, just a little bit, and then I'll measure it and add properly when I've got it on a flat surface. So let me tighten that and then reattach the battery. So before I put the car back down, I'm just going to check it all works. It should be noted it was working before. You know, it's just not consistent, so let's see. Oh, well, there we go. Nice, good. Ah, look at that. I need to put the code in. No idea what that is. Okay, so we're going to move some cars around now so that I can get this flat and get the oil correct. Next thing we're going to do is get the Ford on this nice flat surface so we can check what the oil looks like, which means move in 1, 2, 3 cars, and since the street's a bit packed as well at the moment, we'll have to see how we do it. Right, so here's the dipstick, and what does that look like it is? Okay, so that looks somewhat low to me, so we're going to add some. I spilt it before, got it all over here, not great. Okay, so I think that could use, yeah, that could use just a little bit more. I've got a light over here which makes it easier for me to see. Yeah, I'm going to put a tiny bit more in there. There we go, that looks about perfect. So there we are. Alternator, no, not alternator, starter motor change down. The most difficult bit is, without a doubt, just access to it. You know, you need to get rid of the oil filter, and it's just super tight back there. But that's what you'd expect. Other than that, it's actually really a very simple job. Anyone can do. Okay, so that's the starter motor done. Whilst I was under there, I noticed that some of the front subframe was a bit rusty. Needs probably a clean and a paint just to tidy it off. Same with some of the suspension, and possibly even the bushings needing replacing. It's almost 20 years old, so that's not unreasonable. Is it almost 20? It's 57 registration. It's now 2004, so it's about 17. So it's about 17 years old, 17 or 18. So yeah, so if you would like to see more on the Ford, do let me know and I'll keep them coming. To be honest, the one that I did on the plugs and changing the freeze plugs is one of my most popular videos, so I suspect people come back to the Fords more often than they come back to some of my others, but let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Do like, subscribe, comment, share, and come back to the next episode. Ta-ra.